Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another episode of Run It Back. It's been a while, but we are back. Some people say we were holding off because me and Schubert didn't want to review this movie. Some people say we were holding off because the internet went off. Some people say we're holding off because who knows? A lot of reasons. You let us know out there. But we're back. We got Adam Schubert in the building and my guy Ian in the building. I'm going to start with Ian because I talk to Schubert every week. Ian, how are you doing, sir? And did you like this movie? Because the last Run It Back, you were very critical.
I was. See, that was the first time I had seen that movie. The last movie we did, Black Klansman, and so that was, my initial take was not a good one. I don't know if I was just going through it that week or what the deal was, but I felt like I came in here with just a vengeance to rip that movie apart.
And eviscerated, but it's okay.
I just wanted more from that movie. I'd been hearing the hype about that movie for years since it came out. Everyone was like, "Oh, you got to take the time out to watch this movie," and I was like, "All right, Run It Back is the perfect opportunity for this." And so I was excited about that one, and I felt like it let me down.
Yeah, that's fair. Me and Schubert definitely are big on that movie just because of J.D. Dubs and Adam Driver.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it was really his coming out.
Yeah, we definitely hyped that movie up.
But like when we saw that in 2017 or whatever, it was like, boom, who's this dude? Like this movie was great. Who is this guy?
It was big. So,
So I think seeing Adam Driver in Star Wars and, some of the other roles that he's done, what was the one where he gets married to the woman?
Oh, great. Marriage Story. Great. Love that movie.
One, yeah. So seeing him in that, I had expectations for him in this movie, and I thought he maybe it wasn't bad, but it was kind of like dry, like almost like a Liam Neeson type performance. Which he's playing a cop, so
Jeez, this guy giving Adam Driver bro.
We're not here to review
this guy
Black Klansman. You saw that
rapping on me and Schubert's guy, man. Look at this, Shubes, Ian. This guy.
Well, like I say, I watched it out of order, so that threw me off as well.
I'm just fucking with you, brother. We are
But this movie is one of my favorites, so I was excited about this one.
See, this movie, I'm gonna be honest. Didn't remember watching this movie. So this was kind of like my first time watching this movie. Because like back when I watched a lot of these comedies, I was playing basketball and like before games, we would watch like movies and eat. And then like, because games don't start till 6 o'clock. If you play JV, 7 o'clock if you play varsity. So they'd let you watch a movie. You get off at 3 o'clock. You'd eat, blah, blah, blah. But because I was like, when I started watching these movies with my team, I was a sophomore. So that means I was starting varsity. I wasn't concerned about a fucking movie, bro. I was ready to go get buckets. So I didn't remember.
Yeah, it's just background noise at that point.
Pretty much. And like all the JV people would be like, Lyndon, this movie's fucking hilarious. And I'd be like, shut the fuck up. I'm about to go score. Chill out. So it was at that point in my life. So I didn't remember it. But watching this movie, I guess I'm the fresh viewer, which is weird because normally it's one of you two. As being a fresh viewer, I enjoyed this. Y'all know I'm not the biggest Will Ferrell guy. I argued for us to review Dodgeball and Harold and Kumar. I'm glad we did this one. I understand. And then there's a lot of things about this movie because there's a lot of movies that I like that come after this from a lot of people involved. Whether you want to talk about the Apatow era, whether you want to talk about Adam McKay, whether you want to talk about Catherine Hahn, there's a lot of people in this movie that are very important to a lot of the things we like later down the line. But I'm excited that we're doing this. Shuby, what's up, bro?
What's up?
Not much, man. How you doing?
I'm doing okay. I've been watching a ton of movies. I've actually watched this movie a long time back, probably 2 weeks from now. But I mean, like, I still remember what we're talking about.
Shows you how far ago we were supposed to review this.
Yeah, I mean, I was sad, bro. I was like,
well, anyway, I got you. I just finished. Now let me say this. I gotta ask you both because I asked you this before you came on, Ian. But I'm gonna ask you both this live. Did you watch the unrated version or did you watch the normal version?
See, I'm confused on that because off air you were telling me a scene and I'm like, I just don't remember that.
You had to watch the normal
version. I thought I watched the unrated one.
See, I watched
the normal one.
And there are scenes on my list of best scenes that are unrated only that didn't make the final cut. I'll try to point those out because Kirsten was trying to tell me those. She's being very helpful while I was watching this movie. So I'll try to tell y'all.
So I guess she's a fan?
Oh, yeah, no, she loved this movie. She was like, oh, you're watching Step Brothers? For the first time on your review show, I can enjoy a movie. And I'm like, that's fucking a lie. We watched Black Klansman together. Stop doing this, you fucking ass.
I watched the normal one. I looked it up.
Like, don't make it seem like we don't review good movies on this show. We review all the best. But we're going back into the comedy bag. Let's start off. Schubert, give us your initial thoughts on this movie. Because I pretty much gave mine with like what I said I was interesting.
Yeah, I mean, this movie is kind of essential to what point of the movie timeline it comes in. It's kind of like, Step Brothers is a movie that really can't be disputed as not funny.
Yeah,
I mean, like, if everyone will kind of find a way to find the humor in it. I mean, there's definitely parts of the movie where I'm just like, I just don't want to watch this right now. But like, that's just me personally. I mean, for some people, this movie is like a masterpiece. So, I definitely think it's not disputable that this movie isn't funny. But like, and I think that it's essential to everyone's movie taste. I think everyone kind of like
as well.
Everyone. This is one of those movies that you can like talk about in a party, and there really is like no kickback on that.
That's a fact. Yeah, no, I really wanted to go into this movie hating it because I wanted to come in here and like shit on it, but like I couldn't. Like I was laughing and I enjoyed it a lot. But there are moments of this movie that I'll say are like cringy, like, ooh, do I have to watch this right now? But like, it's still hilarious nonetheless. Ian, what's your initial thoughts on this movie?
This is one of my favorite movies ever. This was one of the movies that my dad and I bonded over when I was like, early high school age. So we quote this movie all the time around the house, and even my mom, who hates the movie because she hates anything that's like above PG. She's just one of those moms. Even she laughs at the quotes, because she's heard them so many times now. So like Schubert was saying, even if you're not the biggest fan of the movie, I think it's pretty indisputable that it's at least a funny movie.
No, I agree.
And, this is one of those movies that I could throw on in the background really at any time and just, let it run on a loop. Which I guess just comes from me having seen it so often. I'm usually not that way with a lot of movies, but this is one of the few things I could throw on in the background and just like.
That's where Superbad's at for me.
That's where Superbad is at for me as well. It was interesting because being that I never saw this movie, there were points in this movie where I knew I was like, okay. For example, when the bed fell on him, I was like, oh, okay, I knew this was coming up. Or the boats and hose, I knew about that. So certain things I remember maybe from the cultural zeitgeist, but the movie together didn't really put two and two together. But definitely excited to get y'all's thoughts on it as we continue. Let's jump into this. As we do this, we start off with a little background. We go best scenes. We talk about who won the movie. We talk about who lost the movie, best six man. And then we have some general questions. I think today's general questions are going to be, where does this rank among the Will Ferrell collection, the Adam McKay conversation, and then where does this rank among Apatow? But we'll get to all of that a little bit later. But let's get into background. Step Brothers is a 2008 American comedy film directed by Adam McKay, produced by Jimmy Miller and Judd Apatow, written by Will Ferrell and McKay, from a story by Ferrell, McKay, and John C. Reilly. It follows Brennan and Dale, two grown men who are forced to live together as brothers after their single parents, whom they still live with, marry each other. Richard Jenkins, Mary Steinberger, Adam Scott, and Catherine Hahn also star. The film was released by Sony Pictures on July 25th, 2008, 2 years after Talladega Nights, The Ballad of Ricky Bobby. Both films feature the same main actors as well as the same producing and writing team. It grossed about 128.1 million. Received mixed reviews. Step Brothers opened about 30.9 million, and it grossed about 100 million domestically and about 27 million internationally. Now, here's some things about like possible sequels, or should I save that? Is that not background? Should I save that, or y'all want to talk about that now? Because McKay said some stuff about them. Okay, sequels. So why there wasn't, why there still maybe, there was supposed to be a supposed rap album that came from this movie that Ferrell and Reilly recorded, but they later said the rap album fell apart and didn't really be released. Ferrell and Reilly also talked about a sequel. Reilly had an idea. McKay was interviewed about a possible sequel, talking about we're kicking around the idea. We feel there's a way more fact to be mined there. While it isn't quite the legend that Anchorman is, it's built that kind of nice following. We think it could be a pretty funny one. He added that Ferrell and Reilly characters would be more mature and have jobs. One of them is married, has a kid. They're still kind of goofballs, but they've taken 3 or 4 steps. And then we've had an idea for something that happens that knocks them back to square one. And one of the brothers, John C. Reilly, sort of instigates it, like, we can't take this anymore, blah, and that sort of thing. I'm kind of glad they didn't make a sequel. I think it was for the best. Leave this where it is. Those movies don't necessarily.
I mean, sometimes I argue that maybe they shouldn't have made an Anchorman sequel.
And that's what I was about to say. Some of those movies don't work when you look at Anchorman 2.
Comedies aren't really that great for sequels.
Look at Neighbors 2. Look at
Caddyshack too.
Get Him to the Greek isn't really a sequel. I think it kind of
is. Different though.
It's different, so it works.
It's different. Yeah.
22 Jump Street kind of works.
It's close, but I mean, it's not as good as the first
original. Yeah. I'm not a big fan of comedy sequels either. So that's pretty much all the background of this movie. It got mixed reviews.
The one comedy franchise I think did well as a franchise, Austin Powers.
I think stories every time.
And some people
say Austin Powers.
Some people say Goldmember is the best, and I'm one of those people. Yep, I agree. But like Ian said, they're kind of anthology, different points of like just different missions of Austin Powers. So that could necessarily.
It was like Bond.
Yeah, exactly. Whereas
I think they could do another Austin Powers and it'd be just as successful.
I agree.
Way different as a comedy style, but yeah.
It just works on the way that Mike Myers made that. It just works so well. Unlike this, where it's like the purpose of the end of this movie is that the family decides that they need to be themselves. So you can't have another movie where they've decided not to be themselves because it takes away from the ending of the first movie. So it's like, why did we go through that whole ending for you to have a sequel? So I'm glad they didn't do it. And besides, Adam McKay has better things to be making than a Step Brothers 2.
The only thing I could see, well, I guess we can get to that later, but there is one possible thing I could see them doing that might be funny.
All right, well,
if they took their company off the ground, that might be fun.
That could have worked. That could have worked, I think. But as for them trying to give them wife and kids and be normal, like that takes away from the initial ending. So, I don't know about all that. But let's get to best scenes. Okay, again, I watched the unrated version. So if I have a scene on here that y'all don't have, just let me know. But the way I started this, I said the opening scene with Brennan jacking off, the dad saying, "Put my face in those tits," and Brennan and Dale messing up the toast at the family's wedding. I think all of that is the opener for me.
When they start off the movie with the quote from George Bush, which is, "Families is where our nation finds hope, where wings take dream." And I went back and watched that, and it was from a campaign speech. I want to say when he was running for re-election, but it was just some random clip. I don't know why they chose to highlight that, because it wasn't really like a controversial thing at the time. Like I only found one little audio clip. It didn't even have video with it on YouTube. But I guess they just wanted to take a moment and make George Bush look stupid.
Yeah, so,
because that movie, when did this movie come out? Like
2008. It was right at the end of his.
Right at the end of him.
Yeah, it was election season.
So one parting shot at George Bush as he was on his way out the door. But I thought that was interesting to start off with because George Bush doesn't appear at all in this movie. I thought it was funny. They're just like, you know what? We're going to take the time out of our day to just say, fuck you, George
Didn't Will
Bush
Ferrell parody him too?
I think he did.
On SNL, I think, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So that makes total sense. Schubert, what you got? Like I said, I got the opening scene of.
Yeah, I mean, I think the funniest thing for me is when Walter's up there making the speech and he's like talking about her tits or whatever. That junk's just hilarious to me.
Yeah,
that's the beginning of the movie, like the montage of them getting together or whatever and creating the blended family. Yeah.
Yep, I agree. Are
we including the wedding scene in that as well?
Yeah.
Yeah, and the toast where Dale walks off, it's like, "Fuck you, Dad." Brennan does the same. He's like, "I don't want to deal with you, Mom." And like
he complains about his food that he got.
Yep, he was like, "Oh yeah. I didn't order."
I ordered.
And then there's the scene before Nancy and Brennan get to the house for the first time. Dale and Robert is his name. I just know him as Doback because I like that scene
Mr.
a lot.
Doback.
But when Dale and Robert are talking in the kitchen and he says, what if, I'm getting out of the shower one day and Nancy sees me and, I got a luscious V of hair from my chest pubes down to my ball fro. And she thinks, I've had the old bull, but now I want the young calf. And she grabs me by the wiener.
Yeah, you're a 40-year-old man.
Robert throws the dish down and goes, "Shut the fuck up." That is one of my favorite scenes in the movie.
The Dr. Doback blow-ups are the best.
Yeah, because I have a different in the reality theory that if Dr. Doback did not meet Nancy, he'd have killed himself. And I feel like Nancy would have got put into a nursing home. Like those are my scenarios of
if they never meet.
If they never meet, these two men drive them crazy. Dovak was definitely gonna off himself, and fucking Nancy was gonna just like cater to Brennan her whole life, and then get
the opposite of that would be she would go to the home and Brennan would go with her.
But I truly think Dovak was gonna kill himself. Like 100%.
How long do you give him? Like, if they don't meet, will you give him like a year, 2 years?
I think
the movie takes place over 2 years.
He was so content with it, but like it was boiling up. It was boiling up. So I'm saying like 2 years until explosion. But once explosion happens, give or take 6 months. He was fed up, bro.
You think Dale had one more strike and that was it?
Nancy was too kind-hearted. She would have just accepted Brennan's shit for the rest of her life. But Robert, he was out.
I mean, he was going to take off on the boat as soon as he got the chance.
That's what I'm saying. If old boy did not get to sail around the ocean, he was killing himself. I believe that 100%. Like, that's the total vibes I got from this movie. Oh, shit. Okay, but the next scene I have is the first dinner between the families, the secrets, the special sauce, Brennan trying to just get ketchup, all that shit. Hilarious. Ian, what's another scene you got?
Well, the confrontation on the front lawn I thought was funny. Dale says, "I'm Dale, but you have to call me Dragon." And Brennan says, "I'm Brennan, but you have to call me Nighthawk." And then there's actually a couple times down the road where they refer to each other as that.
Nighthawk
and they become
Dragon.
Friends.
Yep.
Yeah, at the very end for one.
Yeah. So and then we have the dinner scene with the was it his fancy sauce?
Yep. The fancy sauce.
The ketchup and the mayonnaise,
which is like every basic fast food
pretty much
sauce.
And then we find out that Brennan has a special ability, and I wrote down Brennan has a mangina when we flash back to Derek singing in the thing. And I love that Adam Scott is Derek. I think everything again sets up some of the future, but like being that I see this movie post loving him in Parks and Rec and Party Down, I love him even more in this. I think it's a different side of him. And I like that he went different after this. It makes sense. It just works. So shout out to Adam Scott.
Well, this goes to my first little fun fact. And during the casting of the show, they weren't originally thinking about casting him. Judd Apatow came up to his defense and was backed up by Paul Rudd and John Hamm, who he had been with, and they also went out for that role. They ended up giving it to Adam Scott, and it was his foray into comedy. He had never really done comedy before.
What is first? Is Forgetting Sarah Marshall first, or is this movie first? This movie's first. Makes sense why he doubles back to whatchamacallit, Paul Rudd for Keanu a little bit later in Forgetting Sarah Marshall. Interesting. I don't know if this movie works with Paul Rudd, but I'd see a weird version of it that works with John Hamm though.
Sure, yeah.
I definitely see a weird version of this movie that works with John Hamm.
John Hamm's funny.
Yeah, he does. He definitely can pull up some comedic chunks, but good on Apatow sticking with Adam Scott. I think it worked for the best. So after the mangina thing, I got Nuts hit the drum, baby. He touched the drum and Nuts gets slapped on there. I know y'all didn't see the Nuts. I saw the Nuts in full-blown HD.
I mean, even in the normal one, they show the Nuts.
Yeah, they show Nuts.
Okay. Didn't know if I was getting a free shot at his nuts or if y'all got him.
No, that was part of the draw, like Thunder Gun.
That was part of the draw. Schubert, what's another scene that you have?
Oh man, we kind of bumped around a little bit.
Or if
yeah, we have.
Ian, if you want to go back, go ahead.
Like, are we at the bed? Like, where they're side by side in bed, and
that's right after dinner, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I think that is after dinner where
talking about
laying down.
When he says you're only here because my dad and I decided your mom's really hot and maybe we should both try and bang her. We'll put up with the retard.
And we'll just let the retard say,
and then
he's like, "Who's that?
Who's the retard?" And he says, "You." Hey, you don't say that.
Who's worse off, Dale or Brennan? I have very strong feelings on this.
I think it's Brennan. Dale. Oh.
You think? Right, okay, wait. Yikes. Ian, you think Brennan is more worse off?
Absolutely.
And Schubert, you think Dale's more worse off?
Yeah.
I agree with Schubert. Dale is a 40-year-old man who hasn't had a job. At least Brennan just worked at Petco.
Yeah.
Brennan gets jobs on and off. Like, I feel like he at least tries because his brother is such like a fuck that like he has to try for his mom's sake. Whereas Dale, they don't give a fuck. That's another reason why I think.
Dale doesn't give a fuck about anything, bro. Dude, like he doesn't give a fuck about anything, dude. He thinks he's a doctor. Like, he's not gonna do anything because he thinks he's a doctor. He doesn't need to do shit.
No, but Dale is just delusional. Like Brennan is just the classic guy who got bullied by his brother and occasionally his mom at the school play, and then had a traumatic experience. So that's why I think
Dale's worse off because at least Brennan has an excuse.
Yeah.
Well, no, but Dale is much more capable. I think he's just lazy, whereas Brennan is actually like not, but and maybe also not as capable of getting a good job or holding a job long term.
Down the line with the kid beating up scene, who's the one who's originally getting beat up by them kids?
It's Dale.
Well, that's just proximity.
And if
Brennan had been the one who had lived there,
when they walked up there, Brennan's like, "Why are you afraid of these kids?" Too.
Also, I'm gonna say this to give Brennan some defense. When they both got kicked out on their ass, Dale just worked a normal 9 to 5. Brennan put on the Catalina wine mixer, baby. Give my guy his props. Did y'all not get? That's the Catalina wine mixer.
No, yeah, we'll get there. We'll get to the Catalina wine mixer.
Gotta shout out Brennan for that, but just had to ask that real quick.
Changed the game in fraternity life forever.
Definitely did. All right, so after I got nuts hit the drum, this is something I don't think y'all have, and they fight outside, and then they end up they fight in the house, and then they end up fighting outside, where the dog bites Nancy on her leg, and like they gotta call Robert to come there, and he has an aneurysm.
Today I saw my own son use a bicycle as a weapon.
Shit was hilarious. And I was just laughing that the blind man's dog was just biting everybody. I was like, bro, get your dog on a leash.
Oh, yeah, I do remember that one. Yeah.
He can't see the... Well... we skipped over because right after they fight in bed, they sleepwalk for the first time. And that's when you see Brennan put his mom's purse in the freezer and Dale put the couch pillows in the oven.
See, that's one of the stuff I don't like. I just didn't like that.
See, that one didn't age as well, but at the time I thought that was hilarious. Back when I was in high school, I thought that one was a killer. I
laughed later in the movie at the sleepwalking, not the first one. The second one killed.
I think the first one to me is more funnier than the second one.
The second one?
The second one, I'm just like, oh, come on, guys. Like,
the second one for me is where when the mom's like, you don't wake up a sleepwalker. And I'm like, well, you're fucking right. You don't wake up a sleepwalker. That's why that shit gets me. It's the little things about this movie, like the certain things that connect to like real life. It's like, well, they make a point, and that shit's hilarious to me. The little woman. All right, so yeah, I got the fight, and then I got the intro to Derek singing in the car with his weird ass kids and Catherine Hahn hating her life. Thought that shit was hilarious. You're flat. I pay $1,600 a month for voice lesson for you to be flat. Fuck out of here.
Now at this point. And when I was rewatching this I had forgot that Catherine Hahn was in this movie.
Didn't know she was in this movie. Very big surprise. And especially after me and Schubert reviewing WandaVision for as long as we did. A very nice and welcome surprise. A loving surprise.
And also I saw Bad Moms Christmas for the first time this last Christmas, and she kills it in that movie.
I watched that movie as well during Christmas with my girlfriend. So I literally, when she popped up on screen, I said both of those two things. I was like, damn, Catherine Hahn, love you from WandaVision, love you from Bad Moms. Didn't know you was in this movie.
Yeah, so Catherine Hahn, when she came in, that was a high point. We'll get to her more. I don't want to tip
my hand to sixth man of the movie, but like, it's gonna be hard arguing against Catherine Hahn. There's another person that I argue for. There's two, and I'm torn right now. I'm still.
But going back to that scene with the kids in the car, I mean, like, I think whoever that little kid that was the son is hilarious with his like
his singing,
his singing or whatever.
He's a clown. All that shit.
And then like when Adam Scott's scene there kind of sets the tone for that character the entire rest of the movie. Like that's when you're like, you know what you're dealing with here. He's exactly who you expect he is. He's hilarious. So like that was a peak scene, not peak, but I mean the start of the peak.
I agree.
For like his performance.
High moment for him. Next thing I got is Derek talking to Dale and Brennan in the treehouse. And then I asked, bro says he's the VP of helicopter sales. What the fuck type of job is that? Shows his ab and is like, I make $500.
It's essential.
I'm like, bro.
I mean, somebody's got to sell those damn helicopters, man.
Somebody's got to do it. May as well be him. Also, this is the scene where they're looking at the porno mags that
when they start to bond.
Collected. He says, yeah, it's like masturbating in a time machine.
That was a great moment as well.
That was a big line at the time.
I got 70s.
Everybody was saying that after
that was a big sign. That was a big line. Like we talk about with Superbad, how there are some lines that like everyone would use. Like for Step Brothers, there definitely were some. Like, did we just become best friends? Like that was one.
That was a big one.
The
favorite
line that you just said.
Favorite non-pornographic magazine to masturbate to. Good housekeeping. And then if you were a girl, who's the one guy you'd do it with? John Stamos.
Yep.
And then they go do karate in the garage.
But wait, you're skipping some vital. You skipped the vital of the birth of Catherine Hahn and Dale outside the house after he punches Derek in the face, and she's like, "Oh, that was so hot. I want to fuck you."
Yeah, that shit was hilarious.
Going at it.
Didn't she like grab his balls?
Yeah, they start making out, and she's like, yeah, and then she's like, "Honey, I'm coming." She just,
they're like on the front porch. Like that's my one. Are we sure from this movie? Like, how is nobody catching them on the front porch?
The Thanksgiving scene.
Is that in the unrated or is that not? Because the Thanksgiving.
I don't know.
Unrated than Schubert. Because my girlfriend said she didn't remember that scene, but the Thanksgiving scene 100% was going to be my. Are we sure?
Yeah, like that was my huge argument. I get maybe I did because like that Thanksgiving scene was hilarious.
So what we're talking about, Ian?
Oh, when she's writing, we should have sex now in the food,
and then
you see them having sex.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. Damn, maybe.
Yeah, no, that's yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so
because that's or is it? Are they at a restaurant when they have sex in the bathroom, or is that the Thanksgiving scene?
Well, in the bathroom, yeah.
There's two times then. There's the bathroom in the restaurant.
And Thanksgiving.
The one me and you were talking about is Thanksgiving. Yeah, for sure.
Oh, see, I now I'm getting confused with the dinner
Ian, you were right because like she said like that she wanted to have sex in the food.
In the food, yeah, at Thanksgiving. It's not Thanksgiving. It's Christmas. At Christmas at the house.
Christmas.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, it's at Christmas, and then they go, and he's like, "Oh, I'm teaching her yoga poses," but like clearly penetrating her. And then while they're looking, and they're like, "Dale, come sit down." And then they go back in, and then they come out, and then he's like fucking her some more, and they all see, and Will's like, "He's the only one
that must be in the unrated version."
Okay, well then Schubert, that's us. All right, cool. Schubert, you did see it. All right, bet. All right, so the next scene I got, we definitely skipped ahead after Derek gets punched. Catherine Hahn cries to Dale. I got Brennan and Dale start to get along, and then they all have their little adventures and activities in the house, and then they make their bed, and the bed falls on Brennan. Another, are we sure? Like, I literally screamed when that happened when in the movie. I was like, oh God, how's he?
He'd be dead, yeah.
Yeah, that's like
no, because if you look at a bed, like if you have a wooden frame, the sides and the ends of the frame extend down below where the mattress is, and then you have wooden slats underneath, that kind of run along. So there's a couple inches of space usually in those kind of beds, and especially if like they're using the wood frames as the legs instead of having like an extra piece of leg at the bottom. Like those will extend all the way down, and so that could be like 4 or 5 inches. And so especially with how it hits the bottom, like there's a lot of ways that could go where it wouldn't give you that much damage if you're the person underneath. So I'm okay with that one.
Yeah, that definitely was an are we sure for me. Ian, what any other scenes you got after this? Leading up to this, or right after.
Well, when they're on the porch, one of my favorite quotes from Alice is, "I want to roll you up in a ball and shove you in my vagina, and you could just live up there."
Catherine Hahn was on 10.
And then after that, that's the Velociraptor, Good Housekeeping, John Stamos quote. And then they go do karate. And then is the singing scene next?
Yeah. Where after the bed falls on him, before they do interviews, he sings to him. No, yeah, he sings to him. He's like, if we're gonna do the company. No, that happens after the interview.
That's later.
Yeah, that's a while. Okay.
The interviews
because they got to do the interviews first.
Yeah, they got to do the interviews, and I thought there was a good,
which I hated.
You didn't like the Seth Rogen cameo in there?
I liked the Seth Rogen interview. I hated the other ones. Hated them because I'm just like, this is just so ridiculously stupid.
That part didn't age as well for me, at least.
It just makes me hurt.
Funnier at the time.
It just makes me hurt.
Okay.
I guess it maybe is the age that I'm at, but I'm just like, why would you do that? That's just like so bad.
But that's part of the magic of the movie, Schubert. It's supposed to make you uncomfortable. 2 40-year-old men tag teaming a job application in tuxedos is supposed to be uncomfortable.
Ridiculous.
So after those interviews with the jobs, that's when they start mess up the housing meetings. And then the singing happens after the housing meetings because they're like, oh, we should make a company. And then that's when, after he sings to them for the first time, that's when Boats and Hoes originates. And then they do the dinner.
And also after the interviews, I'm pretty sure is when they get beat up by the kids.
Yeah, that as well. I can't believe I didn't write that scene down. Maybe I was just tuning the movie at that point.
Well, I mean, that's another scene where I'm just like, oh my God, dude, this is just like.
The kids was cringe for me. I was like, bro, please don't lick that.
You didn't like that? He's calling the kid Mr. Gardaki. And they make him lick the white dog shit.
It's like, oh, gross. I feel for you guys. Guys,
get over here. You're going to lick that white dog shit. That's one of the best scenes in the whole movie.
I loved when Will Ferrell wears the Nazi getup and John C. Reilly's in the cake.
Oh, that shit's hilarious.
They're trying to sell the house.
Oh, that shit's so bad.
He's like,
but that's after they say they're getting divorced, right? In Christmas.
No. Yeah, it is.
No, because they were going to sell.
Because they were selling the house.
They were selling the house before that because that's what Derek and them were getting along with. The divorce happens after that. After Boats and Hoes, when he wrecks the fucking boat. They got to try to sell their house first because the dad's all in on. Because
he's trying to go on the trip.
For the boat. Yeah, no, those interviews definitely happen first, and then it's Derek's birthday, and then Boats and Hoes happens. Now, Ian, I'm gonna ask you this: I asked this to Schubert. Schubert bring up the information.
Okay.
Does Lonely Island owe this movie some type of royalties for I'm on a Boat? Because to me, this is a direct correlation to if Boats and Hoes does not exist, I'm on a Boat does not exist. I believe that. Like I'm bought in on that.
See, I guess I would have to know which one came out first. Step Brothers obviously came out first. Yes.
Step Brothers came out summer of 2008 on Wikipedia. I have to say the source. Lonely Island song "I'm on a Boat" released February 3rd, 2009, was recorded in 2008.
Okay, so that's plenty of time for them to, pick something up. But I'd also have to know more about the background of that song. I mean, T-Pain was involved as well, so I don't know what kind of role he played. For all we know, this could have been something that they were working on since 2005 and just never finished it.
True.
But yeah, I mean,
but the correlation between the videos is like where
the videos is very similar too.
And then you're right. I was going to say the cinematography is pretty. You can definitely draw some similarities.
Like, so if the song wasn't based off the movie, the video is loosely based off the movie. It has to be.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're wearing almost the same outfits.
Yeah,
exact same almost. And it's like same premise. Like I'm on a boat with these bitches. I'm on a boat.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I could see it. If they were like, if it were me, at least I'd come out and, say, yeah, we were inspired by, Step Brothers and we want to, pay them our respects or whatever. But
I wonder if that question was ever asked back then. Probably not. People were probably not thinking too much into it.
Wasn't paying attention.
Yeah, no, but in the age of podcast, you got to. So that's just something I noticed. Okay, so yeah, Boats and Hoes, man. What a scene. Gosh, destroyed that whole man's boat and we get another Dobrik breakdown. He should have been pissed, man. And this is where
that was bad.
Happened. That was real bad. And then Nancy taking up for him. I'm like, that goes back to my theory of how Dobrik would have killed himself and Nancy just would have keeping enabling Brennan. Because she was like, as terrible as that was, it was quite inventive. And you guys followed through with something. Like, what are you talking about, bitch? And I could tell that Dale broke up your last relationship through this. You chose Dale over your last husband as well, probably.
Yeah, you mean Brennan?
Brennan.
Oh yeah, Brennan. You chose Brennan over your last husband, probably, huh, Nancy? And I feel like that was the start of that.
Yeah, she was being the classic mom who's just overprotective of the kids.
That's
like the kids can do no wrong. I feel like Brennan's dependency on her is kind of like half and half with them. Like, she definitely enables him to just be a piece of shit.
But she loves it.
Yeah, exactly. She needs him around as much as he needs her around. So, like I say, it's kind of a codependency thing. Whereas Robert just wants Dale out of the house. He doesn't really give a fuck how it happens or if Dale's okay after that.
He doesn't give a fuck.
No, I'm out, man. I'm on my boat. You can figure it out.
You broke my fucking boat. And then when he spanks Brennan, he's like, this probably didn't happen in your house. And Dale's like, Daddy, no. He's like, shut up, you're next.
Someone's going to teach you some respect.
Sure, he puts him over his knee and whoops his ass. Oh, that was hilarious. Okay, so
and then isn't Christmas after that with the sleepwalking? Yeah.
Christmas is after, where he's just sitting on the thing eating his cookie, and they're like, Daddy, can we open one tonight? He's like, shut the fuck up, I'm going to cheesecake.
Why is the Cheesecake Factory the place to be?
Y'all are 40-year-old men. Do whatever the fuck you want. I'm going to cheesecake.
And then he comes back and he's like, that trip to Cheesecake Factory was the best moment of my whole life, or whatever. Like, it was the best moment of my last few months, or whatever.
2 months. Honestly, the supporting characters might have been funnier than anybody in this movie. I know that's a hot take.
Well, no, I don't think that's the case, but I think, and that was part of the reason when I was looking up that casting information, that they did Will Ferrell is someone who's played a supporting cast guy in so many other movies that have made a big impact, that he understands that you need a good supporting cast in your movie. And so, like, I feel like that, they took a really hard look at who was going to be a part of the group. And like, because like what I found out is like Will, of course, picked Nancy because he had worked with her before, and she was an Academy Award winning actress.
True.
And she may not have been known for her comedy and improv, but Will knew that she would do a good job. And then with Dr. Dobrik, he was an up and coming guy, and they just knew that he was going to be dynamite. So I mean, they took the time to choose.
They did. They made good choices all around.
This is essential.
Got to shout out Apatow, man. The Apatow era. This is something that I'm gonna bring up constantly when we do. And McKay, yeah, McKay has a big features in this. So, all right. So then, yeah, after that, I have So after Boats and Hoes, I have Christmas Sleepwalking, where they beat his ass, and then fucking whatchamacallit is done. Robert is fed up. He's like, we're getting divorced. I'm out of here. Yes, it's your fault. It's all y'all's fault that me and Nancy didn't work.
I thought it was hilarious that Alice was crying too, just because Dale was crying.
And then Dale starts throwing up on her foot, and she's like, ah! And then,
he actually threw up.
You're calling him honey. Shut up, bitch. Oh, shit. And then I have They Get Jobs, and then I have, the last thing I have is in caps, Catalina wine mixer, exclamation point. And then the whole Catalina wine mixer. And gotta say, Rob Riggle comes in and bats 100. Like, gosh, Rob Riggle came in and did his thing. I love, like, when you use Rob Riggle the right amount, it's amazing. Like, you think of 21 Jump Street, you got tased. You like this movie. Bravo with Rob Riggle. Sad he could never get it working besides like some of these small moments.
Yeah, Rob Riggle's one of those guys I can only take in small doses. And I think this was the perfect amount of screen time for Rob Riggle, for me at least. I think after a while, he just gets annoying. You got a punchable face. Yeah, I just want to punch you in the face. No, there's nothing you can do for your face. I just want to punch it. Thought it was hilarious. But yeah, Catalina wine mixer. Anything y'all got to say about that, or anywhere else y'all want to go? Because that's the last scene I have.
I mean, the funniest part about that is that they just kept repeating it.
Yeah, true. We're at the fucking Catalina wine.
Fucking Catalina.
And then again, I'm like, why is the helicopter salesman making a party for the Catalina wine mixer? That's another "Are we sure?" I have. Like, why?
It's their biggest sales.
Is their biggest sales weekend?
Yeah.
Yeah,
they make the deals.
About, like,
it's important.
They make such and such percentage of their yearly income from just this one event.
The Catalina.
It's like the biggest in the Pacific Northwest or something like that.
Something like
that. And then Dobrik loses his mind where he's like, fuck it. Y'all just go back to being y'all. My life's miserable.
Yeah.
I don't have my love. And the only way I can have her if I let you two numbskulls be yourselves. So fuck it.
Well, no, because he was upset because Dale was like working that catering job and he was like, this just isn't you.
I know that's why they said he was upset, but this is what I'm putting on him. I think he was upset because he saw Nancy. He couldn't get none of that cooch. And he was like, you know what? Fuck it.
You think Dr. Dobek is just a scumbag all the way through this movie?
He's my favorite.
You think so? The whole ending part of the movie, because after the Catalina wine, you know, they have Will Ferrell's therapist show up, which we didn't really touch on yet. But that's a hilarious
that
part
felt
of this
forced
movie.
to me. I'm like,
you didn't like that shit?
I just felt like they gave him a love interest because Dale had one, and they just wanted him to be happy.
Yeah, well, you know, I mean,
she wasn't really a love interest till the end.
Yeah.
To me, she was just another cringy scene. I'm just like, oh my God, dude, he's talking to his therapist. Like, this is unethical. Like, she should have not have been his therapist after the first time that happened.
Exactly. After seeing Dr. Melfi, my bar on therapists are pretty high.
Yeah, but Melfi was not so hot herself. I mean, you saw the scenes where she was talking to her own therapist, where she was
about
like,
Tony,
I don't know what's my problem with this guy. Like, I'm behaving the most unprofessionally I've ever behaved. So let's not give Melfi a pass.
Among film therapists, Melfi's high up there, but I still got the Departed lady above this one, Vera Farmiga, Schubert's old lady, in the Departed.
Well, no, that's sister.
Oh, what's the sister's name?
Tessa.
Oh, was I talking about? I said the right one, huh?
No, Vera's the older
Vera's
sister.
in The Departed. Yeah, I'm talking about the right one. Okay.
Yeah. You're talking about the right one. You're just talking about the wrong love interest.
Got you. Glad you clarified that for the people of which Farminga you love. But yeah, no. So I got Vera above her in The Departed, where she chooses to cheat on Matt Damon and sleep with Leo. That's a bad therapist. But like this lady here, you see that Dale has not Dale. You see Brennan has an issue. Yet you're fucking him, but you call his mom an enabler? You're an enabler, bitch.
Did they ever actually have sex in the movie?
Well, she starts making out with him and she's going on dates with him.
Talking about the therapist?
Yeah, I'm talking about the therapist.
Well, yeah, I mean, they're dating at the end.
Yeah, definitely. And then that's when she calls the mom an enabler. And I'm like, you're an enabler.
Yeah, that's true. They have the one scene where she's getting off the helicopter while he's singing and she stops and like hears him from miles away. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then she has the lumberjack vision and she's like, oh, I love it. It's like, huh? That's the only. And
the singing part of the Catalina wine mixer. That's the one time I remember him saying "dragon." I call him dragon
when he calls him drag. That's the one. And I was like, damn, I thought I wanted him to say Nighthawk back, but Dale didn't say that piece of shit. Dale's my least. Like, gotta be, bro. Dale's a douche.
You don't like Dale?
Not more than Brennan. I don't know why I'm such a Brennan stan, but like John C. Reilly. Let's talk about that. Do y'all like John C. Reilly in this movie? I like him.
I like John C. Reilly in every movie.
Yeah.
He's hilarious.
Especially when they're together.
I don't know. He rubbed me the wrong way in this one. I liked him more in, he was in Talladega, huh?
Yeah.
He was, yeah.
Liked him more in Talladega. But,
did you ever see, what's the other one he did? Like the Walk Hard, the Dewey Cox story?
That was great. That's great.
That was great as well. I think that's his best performance.
Also,
this is up there for me as well.
Gangs in New York. That's another great John C. performance.
I just watched him in For the Love of the Game. He plays the catcher.
Oh, see, I've never seen that one.
Never seen that either. That's a sports.
Should I add it to the list or no?
Probably not.
I mean, it's a romantic sports movie.
Probably not.
I don't know. Probably not.
A romantic sports movie with John C. Reilly?
Bro, Ian, she was just watching 300 movies, maybe 500 at this point.
Something like that. 7 pages front and back.
Just throwing out
just there. To watch them?
Just to watch them, just to get his knowledge up.
All right, well, you gotta build up the database, I guess. But
it's building up. He's definitely getting there.
Yeah, I'm answering more and more Schmodown questions now.
That's all the scenes I have. Y'all have any other scenes y'all want to mention? Because if not, we'll get to the other categories.
All right.
Nothing. All right. Cool. All right. Let's go to who won the movie. I'll start with you, Ian. Who you think won the movie?
I think there were, Brennan and Dale definitely win because the family gets back together. And that was like their whole bit for the latter half of the movie was trying to get them back together. And I guess Nancy and Robert, to a certain extent, kind of win as well because their marriage, they fixed their marriage. But I could also see how you consider Dobek a loser.
Dobek's definitely a loser for me, and I'm gonna save it. I don't know who wins this movie, man. I guess it has to.
I have Brennan.
Yeah, it's got to be them. It's got to.
I have Brennan straight up.
Ooh, over Dale.
Oh, the only winner
as the sole winner.
Why doesn't Dale win?
Well, I don't know why Dale doesn't win. I just know why Brennan wins more so.
Why does Brennan win more so?
He gets to fulfill his dream of being a singer.
He does.
He gets the therapist.
He does.
He gets respect from his brother.
He does.
And he gets his
Catalina wine mixer.
And the Catalina wine mixer.
The Catalina
and he gets
wine
his
mixer is
a
big moment for me for him because he definitely.
That's what I'm saying.
That. But I still got Dale winning because he gets his company, he gets his dad back, he shows he's a great drummer, all of that, and he
doesn't get Catherine Hahn.
Catherine Hahn was gonna leave for him. He broke up with Catherine Hahn. Shows growth as a character.
She's still there cheering him on at the end of the movie when they get their birthday presents or whatever, and the boat's up in the tree now as their treehouse.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering how that whole scenario ends because Derek now respects them both as brothers, and Alice was in love with Dale at one point, but kind of just because she was in an abusive relationship. I don't know how that ends up between the three of them as the love triangle.
Yeah, I don't know either.
Yeah.
That's I'm with Ian. I got both Dale and Brennan winning, but I see how Schubert does it outright. To me, there's no one. I mean, I could say Derek because he made a lot of sales. Catalina wine mixer was a success. His lady stopped fucking Dale. That's some dubs. But it's got to be Brennan and Dale. Let's get to the fun stuff. The losers. I got Dobrik. Dobrik lost his boat. Dobrik had to cave. He has to take care of his 40-year-old son now and his wife's 39-year-old son. Big L's for Dobrik all around.
But he did it to himself. He was the one who spurred them onto the stage at the Catalina wine mixer.
Ian, I told you that was only for Coochie. That was a spur of the moment decision. My man saw his woman in that dress, had too many drinks, and said, "You know what? Fuck this, boys. I'll go do what y'all want. I got to get these drugs."
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I'm with Dobek.
So his decision to put the boat up in the tree, that wasn't him showing that he had gotten over the whole thing?
No, because
that was him making compromising for pussy.
Exactly. He just got whipped. Once the battle was over, at that point it was realized Nancy will never choose me over her son. So you know what? To make this right, I'm gonna just put some money aside, and if I gotta work a couple more years before I can sail around the earth, I'll pay for these knucklehead sons of mine.
So you think he just gave in at the end and that was it?
Yeah, bro. What were his options? Die alone with Dale or give in and get his wife back?
I don't know. He seemed like he was having a good time at the Cheesecake Factory, so he could have kept that going.
He did not like that.
So it was the best time you'd had in months.
Also, we got to have the serious conversation of Derek being a loser. His wife got fucked by Dale. Let's be real.
Yeah, he wanted to talk about how cool he was, and then his wife was just way more content with fucking Dale.
Jesus.
But does he is he actually losing in that scenario if he doesn't give a shit about his wife in the first place?
Well, then, but then he's we don't know if he's getting anything. What is he doing? Just working hard for no pussy? I don't understand.
Yeah, at that point, he should just start eating carbs again.
Yeah, bro has a 6-pack of abs, VP a helicopter, and his wife is banging the questionable psyche of a 40-year-old man who lives at his house with his dad who thinks wearing a Chewbacca mask is kosher. Yeah, that's a fucking L, bro.
No, but that's my point about the whole, how do they end up? Does he know about this at the end and he's just cool with it? He doesn't give a shit?
There's no way he knows. I think he does not know, even though he should know after that Thanksgiving scene, but
Yes.
Yeah, no, I don't think he knows. That's why to me he's an L. But I'm still going with Dobrik. Dobek. Dobek's the big loser for me.
Yeah, Dobek loses. He loses his boat. He loses his dream, at least for the time being.
Yeah, bro. He was broke. He was a broken man at the end. He just was accepting things. So, all right, cool. Now this is the tough one. Sixth man of the movie. To me,
that's tough.
To me, the starters of this movie are Will Ferrell, John C. Reilly, Adam Scott, Dobek, and Nancy. To me, those are the 5 people who are in the movie the most. I think Sixth Man could be anybody else from this movie but those 5. It looks like you were about to choose Adam Scott.
No, I was going to choose Alice.
Oh,
kidding?
Okay, Catherine Hahn. Y'all are both going with Catherine Hahn?
Yep.
All right.
Yeah, she's great, man. Like, this was... Like after
Rob
seeing
Riggle
all the stuff that
love, like that's what I was gonna come argue.
I don't think he's in it as much as Alice, and I feel like Alice like pushes a lot more funny scenes. Like Rob Riggle's just good. He does a good job of playing his usual character. Where I think Catherine Hahn, like, I think this probably broke out her career. I don't know where it started at, but like
this definitely could have.
And you know, and when I was looking at the casting stuff, they were like, when she came in to test Reed and her improv was so great, they were like, this is dynamite. Like, it's a home run. Like, we have to cast this chick.
All right. Y'all, you talked me out of Rob Riggle because that's what I was going to need y'all's help on. Do I go with Rob Riggle or Catherine Hahn? But you're absolutely right. Catherine Hahn was amazing. She's definitely sixth man of this movie. Ian, you're in agreements there?
I agree, yeah. I just don't think Rob Riggle had enough actual screen time, you know, as far as seconds of him on screen versus seconds of Catherine Hahn on screen.
True.
And also, like Schubert was saying, her scenes are much more impactful to the plot of the movie and just memorable in general.
Every time. But gotta shout out Rob Riggle. Hey, D-Man, you want me to take care of this for you? Nah. Sit back. Gotta shout out the Rob Riggle, man. All right, we might even make a new category in honor of Rob Riggle, the super small performance that touched our hearts. And
I would say Seth Rogen.
And call it wow! You're giving the Rob Riggle award to not even Rob Riggle. You're giving it to Seth Rogen. Wow,
yeah, dude, that
bro.
scene was dynamite.
Fuck no, get out of here. You're wrong for that. Ian, do you agree with him with this? The Rob Riggle award goes to Seth Rogen.
Well, first of all, I'm not in agreement necessarily with creating a Rob Riggle award in general. So how dare you, sir? Just try and throw that in there on us. But no, I mean, like I say, I think Rob Riggle is one of those guys. I have no idea why, but I just don't like him very much as an actor. I think he's super annoying. Maybe it's because one of the first things I remember from him was when he hosted the ESPYs one year, and that was just bad.
Oh, yeah. It was the ESPYs. Why?
So that left a bad taste in my mouth after that.
He's also the host of Holy Moly.
He is the host of Holy Moly. He's on 500 in that thing. Like, he needs to calm down a little bit on Holy Moly. That show is not. We don't need all those Rob Riggleisms there. But shout out to Rob Riggle, man. You win the Rob Riggle award from now on. We're definitely naming the super small cameo award after you. I'm giving you credit.
That's not a very highly coveted award. I'm not sure. A lot of people are going to want to claim that in the coming movies.
We'll see if it sticks. All right. So we got best winner. We got loser. We got sixth man. Now, I guess I just want to ask you these two questions. Where does this rank among all Ferrell?
Oh, man. It's definitely top 3. And then that would just depend on
personal preference.
The person.
Yeah, I would say his top 3 for me are... as far as Will Ferrell goes, I would say this, Semi-Pro, and Talladega Nights.
Hot take. My man putting Semi-Pro in the top 3. I like it. All right, Schubert, what you got?
I don't know. Me personally,
Talladega Nights is high.
Well, yeah, Talladega Nights is number
Screaming
1
too.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, Kicking and Screaming for me is probably pretty high up there. Blades of Glory is pretty high up there. I know that I would much rather watch Anchorman, Talladega Nights, and probably Kicking and Screaming more so than I would want to watch Step Brothers and the other guys. So, I mean, it's just like, I don't know.
Seems like you rank Step Brothers pretty low.
Probably so, just because like I've liked different Will Ferrell movies.
Okay. when it comes to Ferrell, for me, I think I only go old school.
This is where it's set in like the zeitgeist of the world. It's just like, I understand like why everyone like points to this movie, and like I'm not going to deny that it's not funny, but like there's other movies that I'd rather watch.
See, I don't know if this should count, but like,
I
put old school like in the top Will Ferrell movies for me, and I know he's
side character.
I know you're gonna say that, but to me, that's top 3. I got Anchorman up there, and that's where it gets fuzzy for me. Do I go like Other Guys because I really liked him in Other Guys? Do I go Talladega Nights, or do I go this movie? I'm somewhere around that area. But I will say Blades of Glory.
Some people would even say Daddy's Home. I know some people live and die by that movie.
Ass, bro. What?
You should stop being friends with him.
And some people would also say Zoolander, even though he's not a main character.
Now you see, if you're gonna fuss at me, about old school, you should definitely fuss at those people about Zoolander. Because
that's too small.
At least in old school, he's a starter. Like old school, he's
at least like the third man. He's like Chris Bosh.
I'd say it's 1/3 Luke Wilson, 1/3 Vince Vaughn, 1/3 him.
Chris Bosh.
Nah, he not Chris Bosh. I'd say Vince Vaughn's definitely LeBron. I'd say in that movie.
Luke Wilson.
Luke Wilson is Bosh.
Oh gosh, no! Come on, dude.
Don't do that.
Oh, his character is way more important in that movie.
What's the one line from that movie that you remember? Let's see if it's a fucking Luke Wilson line.
It's definitely not a Luke Wilson.
Let's see if it's a fucking Luke Wilson line. I don't even know what the fuck that dude's in there for, but to just rent the fucking house. Like, Luke Wilson is so ass.
There's literally only 2 lines I know from that movie, and they're both Will Ferrell movies.
Exactly.
Lines.
Exactly. That's why it's a Will Ferrell movie. You're my boy, Blue. 100%.
And we're going streaking.
Exactly. The 2 most memorable moments from that movie are Will Ferrell. So that's why I got that there. But interesting that Ian's the only one who had this movie in the top. Just shows you how, polarizing Will Ferrell is. And with that being said, where do you think this ranks among the Apatow? Now, for me...
It's not an Apatow movie.
It is an Apatow movie. He produced it.
Because he's a producer?
Yeah, it counts.
Oh, God.
It was Apatow Productions. He got this thing made.
Okay, sure.
It's an Apatow movie. What are you talking about? Hold on. If I go to his IMDb, hold on.
Well, I'm sure, like, there's a lot of movies that, like, were produced by people who, and I know he had some roles in the casting, too, so I'll give him that credit.
When you Google Apatow and you click his movies, this comes up. Like, I'm about to tell you all of them. I'm going to give you the ones that I think count. That's why I think, the Apatow era is important. So let me get these films. Because all the other things he's producers, unless you're talking about the things he's written, if you want to count writing, then I'll rock with you on that. But
he's produced all of them. Is what I'm saying. Like, it's almost like saying which Will Ferrell movie do you like the best? I mean, it's like because he produced all of those.
He did. All right, I see what you're saying. You're saying when I say best Apatow movies, I can only say the ones he's written.
Well, I mean, like that's just such a hard thing because like. That's so many different stuff. That's Pineapple Express. That's Superbad. That's Knocked Up. There's so many stuff involved with that I don't know if Apatow was like much more involved in that than like he was with like 40-Year-Old Virgin, Knocked Up.
But I mean, the only reason why I ask is because this is in the height of the Apatow era. Like when you can argue.
Oh, yeah. Well, you can argue that all those movies were coming out.
You can argue that the Apatow era starts with Anchorman.
Because he pretty much produced all of the great movies of that era. All the great funny movies of that era.
And then it goes Kicking and Screaming, 40-Year-Old Virgin, Talladega Nights, Knocked Up, Superbad,
Walk Hard,
Forgetting Sarah Marshall, Step Brothers, Pineapple Express, and this is where it goes off. Year One, Funny People, which I love, and then Get 'Em to the Greek, Bridesmaids, and I think that's his last good movie. And then after that, it's a bunch of shit. Yeah, after that's a bunch of shit until
the Big Sick. Yeah,
and then
he was producing Girls over that time.
And fucking Staten Island. That's why I think it's fair to ask. Like out of all those movies I said, to me, I think it's clear cut which one's the best one.
What, Superbad?
Yeah, bro. What? Of course, it's Superbad, and to me, and my sleeper is Forgetting Sarah Marshall. I think that movie's fucking incredible.
Yeah, I think that movie's funnier than this movie, to be honest.
Yeah, facts. I'm with you on that. Ian might disagree with us on that, but I'm with you.
See, I don't think I've seen Forgetting Sarah Marshall.
Oh God.
Oh, that's coming on this.
Run it back.
You should have said that before we did this. Oh, buddy.
Yeah, I know. I need to.
Have you ever
There's a
seen Get
couple
Him
of
to the
those that I
Greek?
haven't seen.
Oh,
yeah, I've seen
buddy.
Get Him to the Greek. I like that
Oh
one.
gosh.
And
This was the introduction to that
Russell
character,
Brand
bro.
to America. Yeah, bro. Gosh. What inside of you, dog? You don't know that?
Yeah, side of you.
Inside of you. Bro.
Don't spoil this movie for me, Lyndon. Now I'm not
Who's
going
that
to
movie?
watch it.
Also, give us the birth of like the Kristen Bell versus Mila Kunis, who's the best comedic actress of the 2010s.
That was a big battle for them.
That was the birth, yeah. And I'm still Mila Kunis won that battle. More successful
Yeah,
shit.
100%.
And she got her own, whereas Kristen Bell's always a side character. Bad mom.
And Mila Kunis' start was funnier than Kristen Bell's because Kristen Bell was trying to be serious with.
We're getting all over the place with this. We're just talking talk. But all right, let's get to the rating. I'll start with Ian because he's probably gonna have the highest rating. Ian, what you got? 1 through 10. And I've realized for these running backs, Superbad is no longer the running back king. Superbad is the running back king of comedy. We're going to start putting these things in categories. So, because there's no way we should. The Godfather is not the running back king of drama. Like I'm just gonna.
Oh, so you're just bending the rules?
Yeah, I have to, because like, come on, man. We have Superbad at a 9.8 and Godfather at a 9.5.
Because it's genius.
Like I'm not. Superbad is the running back king of comedy.
Anytime Ian wants to make an opinion, we just got to bring him back down by changing the rules.
Superbad's high, but I just don't think
I'm just
the
messing with
same
you.
category as like fucking the Departed, which we're going to review at some point. So
no, if I'm being objective, I agree with you. It's ridiculous that we would have Superbad above The Godfather.
Exactly,
it's kind of insulting, but you know,
I had to be. We're building this thing as we go. So like I had to, when I see something wrong, I gotta chip away and get the sculpture looking right. So
we didn't even have a meeting about this. I was not informed.
No.
I would give this. See, like I say, this is one of the movies that I remember nostalgically growing up, like in high school especially. I watched this movie a ton. But this last time through, man, I don't know what it's been. I'm just sounding like, the negative Nancy every time.
It's okay, because like I think me and Schubert are going to give this a low score, so you're okay. That's why I went to you.
But there were a couple scenes that they kind of lost their luster. You know what I'm saying? And maybe that's just me having watched it too many times. But I would give this. I'm going to give it a 9 flat.
Schubert's face.
This dude was like, "Oh, I'm gonna give it a bad score," and then gives it a 9.
All right, Schubert, what do you give this while I get the adding up? Ian has 9. What you giving it?
Oh my gosh, I don't even know if I should say at this point. Like, I'd rather you just say it so I can make sure that I don't get too crazy.
Are you going like
here.
6?
Say it.
No. I was gonna say 8.
Okay, no, Schubert, we're on the right. Okay, 8. Cool. I'm gonna say 8.3. 8.3, stamping it. Yeah, I feel comfortable at 8.3. Can't give it 8.5, but I can't give it an 8. Definitely made me laugh. The aggregate score, 8.433 repeating. I think that's fair. I think that's a solid score. Fits Schubert's low grade. Fits right where I'm at in Ian, or if you're satisfied with it. 8.43 does not.
Well, it doesn't matter what I want. We'll just change the rules anyway.
Yeah, right.
It does not beat the running back king of Superbad. Doesn't even beat Scott Pilgrim, but it's right there. Solid comedy, a benchmark.
Oh, damn. Man. See, I don't know if I can allow Step Brothers being below Scott Pilgrim.
Scott Pilgrim's high on our list.
Well, it's one of those things where, like, I just feel like, I don't know, man. I don't know.
Should boost it up a little bit.
Now you're gonna have Ian out for blood when we review Harold and Kumar, and you're like, nah.
No, that's fine. I don't think I could put Harold and Kumar at 9. I don't think that's like
on the comedy scale. Because see, you got to think we're ranking on a different scale now. It's the comedy scale.
Oh well, that changes everything. Honestly,
that's why Ian gave it a 9. That's what me and Ian were talking about for 5 minutes.
All right, well then I'll put it at 8.5.
I feel like half of Harold and Kumar is them just being stoned. So that's not.
Don't do that.
The plot,
There's some genius shit in there, bro.
The plot of Step Brothers. Well, I guess it depends on which Harold and Kumar we're talking about.
Talking about
White Castle? Or we're talking about
White
Castle.
White Castle's fire. Now, I agree. Guantanamo Bay is just them fucking around.
Yeah,
and it's funny.
All right, so 9
White
plus
Castle
8.5
is better than 2 for sure.
Plus, all right, I'll raise mine.
Franchises that comedy franchises that work. By the way, Harold and Kumar. That actually works.
The official running back score of Step Brothers is in 8.66 repeating.
There we go. That worked.
I think that's fair on the comedy scale. That's fair.
I put it higher than London, so don't give it to me.
Nah, I gave it 8.5 when you did. Right there.
Did we beat Scott Pilgrim now?
No, Scott Pilgrim's at a 9. You're not gonna beat. I can't go any higher.
Your grade didn't even beat Scott Pilgrim.
Yeah, that's true. That was probably one of those days where I was feeling great and gave Scott Pilgrim like a 9.9.
You gave Scott Pilgrim a pretty high grade. Me and Schubert talked you into it. You were in it. You were loving it.
I only have myself to blame on this one. We go back and reevaluate my scores here.
All right, so this was an Ian pick for this movie. This was an Ian pick. Let's see where we're going next time. Next time, Schubert, I feel like I'm gonna manhandle this and make us do like. I don't even want to do a comedy next time. I want to get like super dreary and like prisoners.
Yeah. I mean, like I've been watching so much of that serious thriller crime content. Like I almost want to do something like that, or like
It's my bag. Or we could do LA Confidential. Even though it has the Kevin Spacey element, which we're going to have to face at some point because there's no way we're not reviewing Usual Suspects and 7 at some point in the show.
Because we could probably do one of those.
Like, because if we have to do that, and we just
or like, what if we did like Italian Job?
Italian
Job. The Italian Job.
Oh, yeah.
Why would we review that movie?
What's wrong with this guy?
I mean, we could talk about where it stands.
Where the Italian Job stand?
I can tell you right now, movie. Just based on the last time I watched The Italian Job, I'm giving it a 5.8. That's my stamp. You can take that one to the bank.
Yeah, I was going to say, The Italian Job gets a solid 7.
I feel like it's just like right below all of those like main crime movies. Like, tier A is like, and then you got The Italian Job right there in tier B.
Leading the pack in group 1A.
I don't know about 1A. I said B.
Still, I don't even know if it's leading B.
Dude is championing for The Italian Job right now.
Oh, dude, I watched that movie like every couple of years.
Maybe it's just been too long since I watched it. Maybe I'm being too harsh, but I don't think that's the case.
You're being the right amount of harsh on The Italian Job. The Mini Cooper movie, yes, no.
Yeah, dude, most Def, 6th Man of the Year.
Jesus, no. Jason Statham, fuck no. We're not doing that next.
If we ever review a Jason Statham movie at all, I'm quitting this podcast.
Oh, it's got to be the not run it back, the non-run it back movies that you should not run back. That's gonna be like our funny ones where we review like fast movies or Transformers.
People on Twitter, if you want to see me quit this, just go in the poll next time and pick the Jason Statham movie, and you'll never hear from me again.
Transporter 1 and 2, back to back, baby.
And then just do Hobbs and Shaw.
The 2-part run it back. Oh my God.
Hobbs and Shaw, the 3rd best Fast and Furious movie.
See, what is that? Like number 8 in the series? 9 in the series? 9. That's a bold take.
Well, it's not even in the series.
Yeah, it's a spinoff. Yeah, facts. Facts.
Oh, so then that doesn't even count. Get out of here, Schubert.
Yeah, we're gonna either go to like Paul Thomas Anderson, Wes Anderson. We're gonna do a Coen's brother movie. Maybe No Country for Old Men.
Denis Villeneuve.
We're going to like good.
We can do Arrival. We haven't done a sci-fi thing.
I like that. These are all things we're gonna discuss. Blade Runner 2049.
We need to do a James Bond movie too.
Oh yeah, we're gonna discuss all of this. Okay, now y'all got me hyped for what we do. See, this is why I always put off doing comedies because there's so many fucking good dramas to do. But it's great that we always, sprinkle in a comedy. I'm already telling y'all the next comedy we're doing is one of 3: Dodgeball, White Castle, or Trading Places. One of those is the next comedy. I'm not doing another Will Ferrell movie before this. I'm glad Ian takes the same stance with me as on Adam Sandler. Because if not, Schubert would have us reviewing fucking Billy Madison, that trash.
Probably would, yeah. That's the funniest one.
I won't bore you with my take on Adam Sandler, but it's not great. Adam Sandler's not very high up on my list of actors.
Fucking Mr. Deeds. Get that shit out of here, dog. Click. But that's
Big
enough.
Daddy's House.
I think it's just called Big Daddy.
Oh yeah, it's just Big Daddy. Yeah. I'm thinking Big Mama's House.
Hey, that was the rise of the Sprouse.
With the mashup there.
That was the rise of Cole Sprouse, bro.
Oh fuck! I'm dying.
Thank God for those guys.
This was a great episode. Y'all got a lot
get myself in trouble on this one.
This was a good one. So, all right, Ian, tell the people where they can follow you on social media.
You can find me on Twitter at IanBWT. You can find me on Instagram at IanHawley12. And I have the links to my music posted on both of those places.
Make sure y'all go follow Ian and check out his tracks and shit. Fuck yeah, he's one of my favorite.
My trash?
No, I said your tracks.
No, it's tracks.
Your tracks,
no, I know.
Bro. I'm a fan. I put your songs in Song of the Week. You know that. Also,
that's true.
Tell the people where they can follow you at on social media. Nomadland.
No, because we got Without Remorse.
Yeah, we do have Without
Remorse. Invincible series season finale,
which was crazy.
So we'll talk about those in the review part. Then we'll
get back
continue
to
our actress list.
Yeah.
Wait, is Invincible this new anime that came out?
It's not anime. It's animated show.
See, I watched the first episode of that show, and if it's the one I'm thinking of, it was hot garbage.
Did you stay through the credits?
Oh man, I think I watched the first 15 minutes.
The end was the best part of it.
Okay. Stomach it.
Well, there you go.
This guy saying hot garbage.
You didn't even see the end, because the beginning of it is slow.
The beginning's supposed to set it up as like, oh, this traditional.
It's supposed, it's like one of these things where like it tells you, oh yeah, this is going to be this kind of show, and then at the very end, it's like no.
It's like no, and it flips it on its head, and then
they throw the twist in there at the end.
Mm-hmm.
The old cliffhanger. Okay, I might have to give it another chance.
Got to, especially if you're talking about Amazon.
You just got to watch the whole first episode. Yeah. Like if you don't like it after that, then that's fine. But
that's on you.
You got to at least know what it's about.
I got to give it the Schubert 3-episode, try.
If you give it 3 episodes, you won't stop. Like, that's a fact.
It's a good rule.
Mm-hmm.
So, Schubert, we got that this week. But Without Remorse, if you're not watching that, you're tripping. That movie, all I'm gonna say is, because I'm starting this narrative now for the podcast coming up where we review it. Michael B. Jordan is back, baby. He's back. He's back better than ever. I love it. We're gonna talk more about that on Wednesday, so y'all make sure y'all go follow Schubert. Follow Bros Who Think at Bros Who Think. New Bros Who Think podcast is out now with me, Doom, Brooklyn, and Schubert. Brooklyn's back this week. Also, be sure to check out. There's no anime talk this week. That was last week. Oh, this week there's a new Never Less Than Ill podcast. Justin and myself are being joined by Big Crit's DJ Wally Sparks, to talk all things Big Crit, his rise, where he's at, just his part in the hierarchy with Drake, his class, with the Drakes, the Wales, the Coles, just how Big Crit makes music and all of everything Big Crit and all of that. So y'all make sure y'all take care of that. I'm super excited about that because the first 2 Justin episodes one was hieroglyphics and one was Lil Brother, 2 things I'm not, too top-notch knowledgeable on, but the Big Crit conversation, I'm gonna be in there head first. Big Crit's our era of like the Wale, the Drake, that whole era. So y'all make sure y'all check that out. Other than that, that's all we got dropping this week. Really, no new One Piece content. So y'all make sure y'all, just stay tuned and subscribe to YouTube. But we're gonna be putting a new poll for the Run It Back Up soon. We're gonna choose something fire. So y'all be sure to check out that. Make sure y'all vote. But other than that, we'll be back soon. Until then, peace.